Inflation has been running rampant for years now, and it's spread like a wildfire, consuming American families in its wake. According to a new report that's just out, the incomes needed for families to live comfortably in the United States has risen by astronomical rates. The study by Smart Asset just came out in 2024, and it was a new study titled Salary Needed to Live Comfortably. I know. Buckle up. And it found this: in the United States, in order to live comfortably without the pressure of living paycheck to paycheck, a family in a major U.S. city with 2 adults, 2 children must make an average income of $235,000. And just to make ends meet. And to make matters worse, in 6 U.S. cities, including San Francisco — why would you ever want to live there? — San Jose, Boston, Arlington, Virginia, New York City, Oakland, California, a family needs over $300,000 just to make ends meet. On the lower end of the spectrum, 4 out of 5 cities with the lowest incomes were located in Texas, with the lowest being Houston, Texas. In Houston, 2 working adults with 2 children, would need a combined salary of just $175,000. That's combined salary. Now, this figure, even on the low end, is still jaw-dropping. I mean, staggering, actually, especially compared to a few years ago. In 2022, the U.S. Census Bureau reported that an upper-class salary was $153,000. Upper class. So this means that in order to live comfortably in the United States, you must be in the upper class now? Think about that for a minute. Low and middle class? Done. It begs the question, what the hell is happening? This is very sad for families who are just trying to raise their children in the United States. Now, as I've talked about here on the show, there's never been a more expensive time in human history to have children. In order to live comfortably, Americans must choose between living in their city or having children? Really? And now you know why offices are closing up and commercial real estate loans are going bust? People don't want to live in the city. They can't afford to. They have to move as far out as they possibly can, not near shopping, not near anything. It's already happening. Many are choosing, or rather being forced, to forego having children altogether. It's true. A new report from the CDC, the National Center for Health Statistics, just came out and shows that in 2023, the United States birth rate dipped to its lowest level in over a century. And if you want to see how this is trending, just look at Japan. Japan has a massive birth gap, perhaps the worst in the world. Of course, they got hit hard with a recession a number of years ago, and that is the number one reason that young people decided not to have children. So now they have like no young people in Japan. And all of these old people that are dying in nursing homes, and they have no one to take care of them. It's really, really sad. So they're dying alone in hospitals because they have no children. And this is what's coming for the United States. And a new NerdWallet survey actually surveyed people about their plans to grow their family. And in 2024 and 2025, the numbers in this study are shockingly low. Only 25% of parents with minor children plan on having another child. Only 27% of non-parents plan to have children. So when asked why they wouldn't be having more children, 22% of parents cited the general cost. 19% said the cost of childcare is too high. And then, of course, if you think about the massive influx of illegal immigrants into the United States, it makes perfect sense then, right? The U.S. government is paying for them to come here. It's giving them a monthly stipend to live in the United States, giving them free phones, giving them free stimulus money to stay in the United States. And Americans are being squeezed out. So this is how it works. You see how this is all coming together. I mean, really think about this. This reality so many people are facing right now in the United States. If you want the possibility of affording children, they must leave the city. They must work in the city that you love. Maybe you've lived there for years, for generations. You have to leave because you can't afford it. In order to have children, people have to move out to the suburbs, which may or may not be less expensive when all is said and done. You pay for longer hours of childcare when they commute into the city, have to find new support networks. It goes on and on and on. So now you've moved out to the suburbs. I knew people up in Hawley, Pennsylvania, where we lived, where there was a 2-hour commute, 2.5-hour commute just to get to New York City. And they would do that. They had to move out there because it was cheaper, more inexpensive, and they could drive or commute 2.5 hours. They leave at 5 in the morning in order to get into Manhattan. It's crazy. There's no good option here for people. All of these factors in our economy, inflation, housing costs, the cost of childcare, general cost of living, and now are so high that people are not able to have children. This is devastating for the United States of America. And you might be asking, well, what are the implications of all of this? Well, actually, there are a lot. Again, look at Japan. But according to the U.S. Congress and their Joint Economic Committee right now, Smaller families reduce the quality of our communities and undermine social capital. Smaller families undermine the quality of our communities and undermine our social capital. Let that sink in for a moment. And a report from the Pew Center also found that explains the states across the nation are already seeing some effects from the combination of this low fertility and lower birth rates right now. But many significant hits to tax revenue are also coming down the pipeline in coming years. Fewer people, fewer taxes, less support for fire departments, less support for police departments, less support for schools. You see, today's babies are the next generation's workers and taxpayers. Imagine understaffed hospitals and schools. Imagine a housing market where there are more homes than are needed. Look at China. There are hundreds of scenarios in which a below replacement birth rate can destroy a society. Again, look at China. You're only allowed to have one baby. Remember those years? And then you build massive amounts of homes that are sitting totally empty, totally vacant. Last week, the Chinese government put a new move towards trying to stimulate the housing sector in China. And they're going to stimulate basically buying up, giving local municipalities the ability to buy up a lot of these homes and turn them into low-cost housing for people. So this is a disaster in China, and it's coming to the United States. We'll get back to the video in a minute. But first, inflation is out of control, and you've got to protect your money. Any money you've got sitting in your bank is losing value every day, right now by about 3.5% to 4%. That's right. If you want to protect your money and you want to grow it, you need to put it to work by investing it. Now, I'm not talking about risky or volatile investments like stocks or crypto. Don't get me wrong, I like those. But tangible assets is what I'm really talking about, that you can actually put your hands on. The best tangible asset that you can invest in right now is real estate. It's the number one hedge against inflation, and it offers some of the highest and the safest returns possible. Hey everyone, I'm Clayton Morris, longtime real estate investor and founder of Morris Invest. Now, I got into real estate after learning that it was a favorite among the wealthy, and now I know exactly why. Personal experience has proven that it is the number one way to build wealth and to protect wealth. I've got decades of experience now that have proven it. Now, while there's several ways you can invest in real estate, most of which I've tried myself, the build-to-rent model offers the most benefits, hands down. More specifically, single family, buy and hold. I'm talking brand new construction built from the ground up, build to rent. Build to rent properties offer more tax benefits, fewer headaches than rehabbing an existing property. There's less risk and way less stress than flipping houses. There are a lot less work than wholesaling houses. And there's less turnover and fewer issues than multifamily properties. And when you invest in build to rent real estate, you're getting 4 streams of income. That's right, 4. Appreciation and equity gains, principal reduction, tax benefits and depreciation, and then monthly cash flow, which is my favorite. On top of that, you're using someone else's money, yes, the bank's money, to invest in real estate, while someone else, your tenant, is paying for it, paying down the mortgage. It's just one advantage that it has over tangible assets like gold and silver. I mean, I love gold and silver, but you can't buy it with the bank's money. And you certainly can't have someone else pay for it, can you? No, you can't. Plus, when you're strategic about leveraging, using the bank's money, you can get 4 to 5 times the assets that you can to invest in. And it's the only investment that gives you 4 to 5 times the protection from inflation. My company, Morris Invest, along with the help from our team at Sedera Wealth, helps you invest in build-to-rent properties as easily as investing in stocks, because we buy and we build in bulk, and then we pass our savings on to you. Now, if you'd like to learn more, let's just jump on the phone. You can share your financial goals with my team. You can ask questions, it's totally free, and we'll see if it's a good fit. Talking with us, again, completely free. No pressure, no strings attached. When we talk to you on the phone, we're going to explain a few things. Number one, how to identify a smart real estate investment. Then, what does it take to become a successful investor? And then what you need to get started, whether it's a team, good market, good property, down payment, financing, all of those things. We'll talk about it. Where to get a good strategy that actually best fits your goals and your situation. I mean, everyone is different, right? Every life situation is different. So we'll talk about that on the phone. Then we'll also talk about how to get free ongoing help. So click the link below right now to schedule a free call with my team and start protecting your money today. It's terrifying to think of what's ahead if the tides don't change right now. And of course, there's the US government, which will be forced to keep spending to implement rate cuts. We cannot afford a recession right now. People can't afford to have children. This is a major crisis, and it's very sad to watch unfold. And our politicians in Washington don't seem to care at all about it. They don't. President Biden would rather send $100 billion to Ukraine, hundreds of billions of dollars to Israel, that's okay, and allow 30 million illegal immigrants to pour across the United States borders. They're fine with that. As always, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What do you think about the study on comfortable salaries? Does it sound accurate for where you live and where and what money you're making right now? Like, let us know. If you want to be transparent, just let us know in the comments. Like, what are you currently making for a family of two? Do you plan on having children as a result of these current economic conditions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And in this next video, we're going to unpack why the United States is becoming a renter nation. So click right here, and we'll see you next time, everyone.